Hey everyone, it is Josh in editing. Just wanted to let you know that as normal, we do have some bonus content at the end of this episode, so stick around to hear that. And in the meantime, enjoy this special guest episode featuring my friend Ryland as we cover Sorry Mom by Destroy Boys and Willy's Wonderland starring Nicolas Cage. Enjoy! Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the One for the Other podcast about movies and music and two people being wrong all the time. As you know, we've been on a little guest speaker run, even though this is only the second episode and it's been months since the last one. I'm really good at this. So I am always, as always, am Josh, and with me today is.
Ryland.
Who are you?
I like Mario and cheeseburgers from McDonald's.
There we go. That makes you qualified to talk about movies and music. As always, I let the guests decide what they want to pick, and Rylan picked the movie this week, so I picked the record, which of course we'll start with. So yeah, we'll just jump right into it. Obviously, you've listened to the podcast before. You know that I really like to go with like a genre dive or something. You know, we did the shoegaze with Spooky. And something else probably. I don't know. That's the one I remember most. But I like to do those genre ones. And one that I've been very interested in recently has been Riot Girl. I don't. How much do you know about Riot Girl as a genre, Ryland?
I don't really know anything about it, to be completely honest.
Yeah. No, I get that. I mean, it's kind of a it's a subgenre to say the most. So just a quick backstory: Riot Girl came out in the '90s. It was a radical feminist punk movement, just about girls wanting to be seen, be on stage. It was very radical at the time. Biggest bands: Bikini Kill, Bratmobile. And it kind of died off a bit. Like I said, it was it was a radical movement. There was a bit of turfiness going on, and a lot of that. But a lot of those people have kind of come around, and there's kind of been a more recent wave, at least that I've seen, especially just from being on TikTok, actually, of all things, which is where I found this week's record, which is "Sorry Mom" by Destroy Boys. So, Ryland, what did you think of the record?
I thought it was a really easy, good listen. The album is only like 25 minutes long. It's really tolerable to just sit and listen through the album. Unlike a lot of albums that I listen to that just kind of drag on, I thought it was pretty straight and to the point. And what you said about the genre, the first thing in my notes in like big bold text is just women in punk. Granted, I'm not a super big punk guy. I don't listen to a ton of punk. I'm white, so I listen to Vampire Weekend sometimes. So I thought it was really cool to just hear women in punk. That's not something that I've really heard, and it was interesting to be exposed to something new like that in the this Riot Girl genre. That's something that I was completely unaware of. So thanks for bringing that to my attention.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, I thought that was really cool. I to like listen to this new thing because like why have women not been in punk? I don't know. Sexism, it happens. It's America. It's bad. Um, but like it's cool to just see that happen. And like I said, it's a really easy album to listen to. I thought the front half of the album, until Widow, the sound or the songs kind of sounded a bit similar to me. They had kind of similar guitar riffs and kind of that kind of stuff, so that the songs kind of started to blend together. And then Widow, kind of like slows the pace of the album down, and it brings it to this like more impactful, like lyrical, um, focus, and then it like kicks it into fucking overdrive with I threw glass in my friend's eye and now I'm on probation. And that's all you need to know about the song. It's called I Threw Glass in My Friend's Eye and Now I'm on Probation. And I found that song to be quite funny. But I thought the back half of the album was much better than the front half. I feel like it had more variety in just the music, I guess. It wasn't super similar. It had more like legs, I guess. But
Yeah.
what do you think about the album, Josh?
No, I actually thought very similar things. I thought the biggest weak point of the album actually was that, yeah, the guitar. I just thought the tones were kind of repetitive, kind of very similar strumming things. I think their drummer does really well. I think their vocalist, really does a lot. Their song, that I Threw Glass at My Friend's Eyes song, that got kind of popular on TikTok. And if you look at like on Spotify, on the desktop version, you can see it has like millions of streams, and none of the rest of the
Yeah.
songs have even a million streams. So that's kind of why that's kind of blow up. And definitely, I think, the highlight of the record, Through Glass of My Friend's Eyes. It's a great song. And yeah, like I really like, what you were saying about like the it's kind of funny. It is interesting material, being with kind of in this feminist movement, especially seeing with tracks like No Respect, which is definitely just a feminist anthem of just like, stop telling me what to do. It like the line, isn't it funny to know other people exist? That's such a great line. It's just like thinking about other people, and it's like, you're not giving me any respect, or like, I won't treat you with respect. And then to kind of have that on the same record with I Threw Glass at My Friend's Eyes, where it's kind of talking about this really weird toxic relationship that the singer has with this guy, and how it's like a really weird and kind of creepy thing, and he's kind of predatory, but sometimes she kind of likes it, but she knows she really shouldn't. So I just thought it was interesting material, and I think that I think that's really a punk thing of like singing about like the dumb shit, the shit you don't want people to know about, and just kind of tongue in cheek. That whole part of like, your hands are so big and you're so tall. Wow. Like, yeah, it's funny. It's good and tongue in cheek. And I think the other thing with that song, I think the drumming can really carry a lot of it, especially those parts where she kind of stops and kind of stutters on beats. There's who was it? Please Do, and like it kind of slows down all of a sudden and breaks for a little bit, especially that one part, I really want to make out with you, and then it launches back in. I think the drumming really carried it right there.
Yeah. I read an interview with the band, and the drummer, who's no longer with the band. They have a new drummer since Sorry Mom. But Josh, I want to have you guess who he said his biggest musical influences are in his music. If you had to guess, because I don't think you're gonna get what he said.
I don't know. It's spaghetti western scores.
He said the two biggest influences are Korn, which I can kind of see, and Little Uzi, which I could not see. And then the people in the band were like, the Linkin Park posters that are plastered all across your bedroom beg to differ, which I can also see that. But I thought that was really funny that he was like, honestly, I think my biggest influence is Lil Uzi. Like, how does that translate? I mean, granted, I'm not a drummer. I'm not making punk music. I don't know, but there's such a stark difference to me, at least, between Lil Uzi like rap and this kind of riot girl punk. So I thought that was really funny. I was like, what are you talking about, dude?
And you said that was the drummer that was on this album, or that replaced the drummer on this record?
He was the drummer for this record.
For this record.
Yes.
Nice.
His name is Ethan Knight.
I assume he's the one in the secret song that's singing then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's on. What did you think of the secret song?
Oh God. I thought it was pretty interesting. I don't know. I don't have a whole ton of opinions on it, but I liked how it was kind of new, I feel like.
It was very different. I think he really brought out the Uzi in it.
Yes.
No, I thought it was fun. I actually really liked that it wasn't too long. It's the longest song just because of the space needed to like give room for that hidden track. And a lot of times when you see that, like we did a Cold War Kids record in an earlier episode, and on one of their newer records, I think it was LA Divine, they have a hidden song at the end, and it's like 11 minutes for that track to get ready for the hidden track. And when you wait so long, it's just like, Jesus Christ. Like, I want to listen to this hidden track, but I don't know exactly where it is, but like, come on. But with this track, it's only 6 minutes, and like, that's a decently long song, and you're kind of getting 1.5 songs for it. So I thought it was a good enough time where I definitely eventually was like, oh, is it still playing? Oh yeah, it is. Oh, there must be a hidden track. but it didn't feel too long, which I liked, and I thought it was, it's a fun little ditty where he's like,
Yeah.
Alexi can't play the drums.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty funny. This album is just super fun. I feel like in my
Hmm.
notes I wrote down like this would be really fun live music to like go to
Oh
a
yeah.
concert and listen to this live. And that's something that's one of the album's biggest strengths. I feel like is it's just really fun music.
Hmm.
It's not super duper like lyrically deep, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be that way. It's
Yeah.
it's just something that's fun to listen to. Just like I wouldn't say like sit back and relax and listen to it because this is punk music, but it's something to like. I don't know. It eludes good vibes, which is one of
Hmm.
the whitest things I can say, but it does.
Yeah, but I remember yelling at Lane for saying something about vibes. I think he said hashtag vibes, and I was like, I have to kill you now. It's in our contract.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
Well, you can
yeah.
kill me. I just said that, so which is bad. I already regret saying that
All right, we'll
already.
strike that on the no, editor's note. Strike that. Second editor's
No, you
note.
don't
Don't strike
have to.
that. Don't strike that.
You don't
Actually,
have to. You don't have to. I'm down for the
actually,
embarrassment.
boost that. Actually, can we get that
Boost
up?
it.
Plus 30 dB. Um, yeah, no, it's
Reverb
definitely.
all the way up. Editor's note, don't turn the reverb up.
It's really fun, and it's really catchy. Honestly, I didn't expect that
Yeah.
at all. Like, I knew the one song, but I'd seen it all over TikTok, so like, of course I knew it because I'd seen it all the time. I didn't expect, but I'm singing along to half these songs by the end of the week. And I don't know if that's just because I listen to it a lot or what, but I really like it, and I can like, yeah, I like pointing out things like cattywampus I know, and like, um, different, yeah, different. I like know words, which is fun.
Yeah, it's really easy music to just pick up, which I already said, and I'm somebody who has like, I don't know, my attention span is short. I'm a zoomer, unfortunately. Um, but like when I'm listening to albums, I typically I can't really get all the way through them. Like I'll listen to like halfway through an album and then I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna go make chicken nuggets, and then I'm like doing that, or like I'm doing other stuff, or like okay, I'm gonna watch YouTube now. But I was able to just sit down and just listen to this album, no problem, and that's something that like I don't do that often.
Hmm.
It's like when something comes out, like I listened to like the new Tyler album that just came out, like all the way through, because that was really really good. But like I that's something that I can't do, and not all albums can do that for me. But this is an album that I was able to do that, so that says something about the
Yeah,
album.
and I think the brevity of it kind of plays into that.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's not even half an hour. So I think that helps. I think when I think of an LP, I'm typically thinking about 45 minutes. So that can be, and that's I totally feel that, and half of that's just because it's like, well, damn, I'm listening. It's been 45 minutes. I'm probably wherever I
Yeah.
need to go if I'm driving or doing whatever I. If I'm doing something for like an hour, that's a really long task.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I totally feel that. Where it's just like once you finish a record, I'm typically like pooped. Where I'm like, I don't want to even
Mhm.
listen to music again. But I think the brevity helps with that. I think it did leave me wanting more a little bit.
Yeah.
Like because it's so short. We kind of said the similar things we were talking about. Content by Joywave. That it's the brevity of it is nice, but it also means that it can also be over listened to. I think this one is nice and easy enough listening, like you said, that it's not like that. But that's how I definitely felt with the Joywave record, where it was so brief that I was able to over listen to it in only a week, and I got a little bit sick of it. So I think that does come with that risk, but I don't know. I don't think it hurts it too bad.
Yeah, I don't think it hurts it that bad either. And also, like, there's also another album. They also have another album that came out a year later.
Right. Yeah.
Which
It makes me just want to
this,
listen to more of their music.
yeah, and the album is also the next album is also 28 minutes long. So like put together, it's a decently long album.
Hmm.
Um, so like put together, if you want more Destroy Boys, like you can get more Destroy Boys. This
Yeah.
isn't it. But yes, I would agree with you. It's really the brevity can kind of hurt it. Like you can definitely over listen to this song or this album super duper duper easily.
Yeah. Or
Um,
even just like you finish to it and you're like, oh, I don't want to listen to it again. But
yeah, Yeah, I can definitely see that. I'm not at that point yet. I didn't listen. I listened to the album probably like four or so times. Like I didn't go crazy. Mainly because I've had a pretty busy week where I'm
Yeah.
like running back and forth and back and forth. But like when I've had like a half an hour to just chill out, I'm like, I'm gonna listen to this. This is pretty good. Um, which I guess like leads me to this, Josh. What was your favorite song from the album? I'm kind of curious to see.
Um, God, that's hard. I think I Threw Glass is really good. I think Goldilocks Spot though. I don't know if it's just because it came up a
Yeah,
lot when I shuffled, but Goldilocks Spot, um, I really liked. And
that's my
especially,
favorite as well.
yeah. I think I Threw Glass is a strong contender as well though. Very strong.
Yeah, and the two songs are so different. I don't know. I threw glass at
Yeah.
my friend's eye is so chaotic that like you have to be in a really specific mood, I feel like, to listen to it and really get all that it has to offer. But Goldilocks Spot is and like Widow, I feel like those are the two that you can kind of just sit down and like kind of
Hmm.
more decompress to. And that's kind of the music that I like. I don't know. I like to like listen to music when I'm just like I don't know, writing a paper or like doing my reading for school or something. And
Yeah.
like when I'm doing my reading, when I threw glass and my friend's eye comes on, I'm like kind of taken aback a little bit. Which isn't something that I'm super like looking for in that specific like situation.
Right.
But it's really good for what it is, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's about all I had. Do you have anything else that you really want to talk about with it?
Um, in my notes, I wrote down NHL 13 music. When I was like 12, I played this game on my PS3. It was a hockey game. And they played like punk music that really reminded me of this. Like this reminds me of hockey music. Because my
Hold on.
cousin is
Let me
very
see.
much into hockey.
Let me look up
And
the
there's a
NHL 13 soundtrack.
actually I should do this too. I'm kind of curious.
Anti-flag bass nectar on here. What the fuck?
What?
Pennywise tribute featuring Pennywise. Okay.
I don't know if this is
Offspring.
yeah,
That's
I don't oh
that's
sorry.
amazing.
Yeah, I don't know if it actually like reminded me of this album in particular, or like this soundtrack in particular. But like my cousin plays hockey, and my uncle turned like his hockey bag into like a subwoofer, and they go to like
Nice.
all these hockey games and just blast punk music, and that's it. It reminded me of that, which I thought was super cool. But of course, like none of it is like female like Riot Girl punk,
Right.
because like it's hockey,
Yeah.
which is like probably one of the most like they have a lot of problems with like diversity in hockey, which we don't need to get into, but like um yeah, I was like this gives me NHL 13 like this reminds me of that when I was listening to this, and I don't know if that's because I was listening to it like 3 in the morning and I'm like my half delusional state, but
You know
yeah,
what's
I
funny?
was like
Actually, one time Lane and I, like over a summer, he came over and I had like NHL 17 or something because it was like free with gold, and we listened to a random like metal record that I had picked up at like Bogies, and it was really fun. We were just fucking around, like we weren't playing anything
yeah, dude,
serious
it's
or
a
well
good
at all.
time.
But yeah, we were just jamming out to some metal, so I could totally see that.
Yeah.
That'll be what I do next time I pick up the game. It's like, all right, put on some Destroy Boys.
Yeah, man. Just game, bro. Enter the gamer dungeon. Listen to some Riot Girl.
Awesome. Well, I think we should rate it. Since I picked it out, why don't you rate first?
Um, I would say a B tier. I think fits this.
Wait, we'll give it a number rating out of 10.
I'll give it a number rating out of 10. Are we doing like the scholastic bullshit like everybody is like a 7 or above, like the IGN rating, or are we doing like the big boy ratings?
I don't know. Rate it
What do you
whatever you
want?
want, dude.
Uh, I, f- I want to give it like a 7.5 because it is really brief, and I feel like that hurts it. And the first half of the album is super repetitive with the super similar guitar riffs, but that back half has the diversity that I was more looking for. And Goldilocks Spot is a really really good song, and I threw glass in my friend's eye, and now I'm on probation. Like like what I said earlier, that speaks for itself. Like that's the name for the song speaks for itself. You don't get a lot of I threw glass in my friend's eye, now I'm on probation. But it is really brief, and it kind of leaves you wanting a bit more, which knocks it a bit. So I'd give it like a 7.5.
We don't do 0.5, 7 or 8. You gotta pick
Oh,
one.
I'll do an 8. I'll do an 8.
All right.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. I think I'm also gonna do an 8. Yeah, I think just the brevity and the guitars. But yeah, overall, I would definitely recommend this, especially anyone who likes just punk and Riot Girl and stuff. It's pretty good. Not as harsh as some of the stuff that came out of the '90s, Bratmobile and Bikini Kill, where it was less about the music and more about the message. I mean, it's focused on the music, which is not a bad thing at all. But just if anyone is familiar with that, just don't be coming in expecting that necessarily the whole time. There are definitely moments of it though. Yeah. In terms of the tier list, so you were thinking B tier. I think I'm okay with that. I think that tier is full, so we are gonna have to move something. What do you think you'd like to move?
I'm looking.
I don't know how many of these records you've even listened to.
I would be fine. I haven't listened to, I don't think, any of them. But I would also be fine with C tier.
I think it's a B tier.
I think it is a B tier, but like especially if it's an 8 out of 10, it should be B tier. But I think I'll give you the discretion to move it out of to move.
I kind of want to move Pet Sounds, but I feel like the
That's
spirit
what I
of
was
Lane
thinking.
would destroy me.
His ghost is gonna come.
He's still alive.
No, he's gonna come wearing a cowboy hat and then put us in like he's gonna lasso us and then like drag us to a ditch.
You say, "Wow, you changed since you went to Wyoming."
Yes.
I'll put Mudhoney down actually because I re-listened to that recently and then I realized a lot of it does kind of sound similar. It didn't have as lasting of an effect as I think Pet Sounds has because I've listened to that again, coming back to it, and I need to edit the thing. I just remember to put it in B, but I have come back to Pet Sounds and it is still pretty catchy.
You can't go wrong with Beach Boys. You can't go wrong.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that does it for the record. What did we watch?
Willy's Wonderland, and I would like to start out by saying I'm sorry for making you watch this. Like it's bad. It's bad. So I want to apologize for wasting like an hour and a half of your time.
Oh God, it was more than half an hour. It was 90 minutes almost. Wasn't it?
Oh, no, I said an hour and a half. I don't know. Maybe I cut out.
No, it cut out.
No, it's an hour and a half. Like, it's an hour and a half.
It was this. I think this is unironically the worst film I've ever seen. Like, I think I enjoyed Pineapple Express, which I hated more than this. Like, that movie, that episode was just us complaining for the entire record. This film was just like, I did not enjoy a single moment of it. I think I'll say the one good thing I have to say about this film, and that's the only thing I think they did well. The production design was really good. The animatronics were designed real well. The environments were designed really well. I thought the set dressing and the props and all were really good. That's it. That's the only good thing I have to say.
Yeah. Do you want like it? I guess my question is, do you think this kind of borders on not so bad it's good, but so bad it's entertaining? Not the whole movie, but parts.
I think, here's the thing. I think the entertainment value is lost on it because the whole thing is shot and feels like a parody on YouTube.
Yeah.
But the parodies on YouTube are like, they have a joke that they make or something, or they have some other point. They're trying to point out how ridiculous something is. This is the same format, but it's serious.
Yeah. The thing with this movie is like, this movie sucks. This is very, 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 very bad movie. Like, I can't stress this enough. And something about me is I really like bad movies, but I only like a specific kind of bad movies. Mm-hmm. I only like bad movies that aren't intending to be bad. Like, I like The Room. The Room's my favorite movie, and I can't watch, like, Sharknado and like that kind of stuff, because that stuff is trying to be bad. Like Tommy Wiseau, broken English, like trying to write a movie. That's my kind of stuff. And this movie feels like it feels weird because I can't tell if this movie is trying to be bad or if this movie isn't trying to be bad. Like it's in that weird middle area for me, and I don't know like what they're trying to go for with this movie.
I feel like the production value is too high. Like,
Yeah.
there was effort put into a lot of this, but but it was all directed in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like the cinematography fucking sucks. It's not
Yeah.
boring. It's there's a lot going on, but it fucking sucks. But there was a lot of they wanted to do something with it. I think the only person that didn't give a shit about this project was the star of the fucking show, Nicolas Cage. Why didn't he say anything for the whole movie?
No, he literally doesn't say a fucking
His character
word.
is just the janitor.
Yes. And then he kills a robot and then drinks a Red Bull and plays pinball.
Why
And then
did he?
just
They
go-
never explain that. He has this.
They never
okay,
explain
he-
anything.
He fucking if you didn't have not seen this movie, which I pray you haven't. He
Don't.
has this thing where he brings these. It's unclear what it is. I guess it's supposed to be maybe an energy drink. It says pop on it at one point when the girl's drinking it at the end, so maybe it's a soda. But he has the thing where he has his watch go off every now and then, and when his watch goes off, he has to go and start drinking the soda, Red Bull, whatever, and play a pinball machine. And then when it goes off again, he stops going and he goes and does whatever he was doing. He literally leaves in the middle of a fight at one point to go play the pinball and drink the soda or whatever, and then come back. And he doesn't seem to need it to recharge. Like at first, like he does one, and then he goes and does it, and then he kills another robot, and then he goes and does it, and then he kills like 3 in a row. So they never explain it. She starts drinking it at the end, so maybe now she's on crack. I don't know. Nicolas Cage at the beginning looks so fucking stupid. He has this like action movie guy grimace.
He has that grimace the whole movie.
I started to, I don't know, maybe I just stopped noticing it, but at the beginning, especially when he's talking to the tow truck driver, and he's just like, the dang kids put the tire strip out, and he's just like staring at him, and I'm like, what the fuck? You look like a dumbass. Oh, God, it's so
bad. It's such a bad movie.
It's so
such
cliche.
a bad movie.
The cliches
It's literally
are awful.
just a Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff. That's what it is, and it doesn't add anything. It doesn't like it's just a cheap, shitty cash grab. And it seems like they were like, okay, for this movie to succeed, we need a big star. We need Nicolas Cage, but we don't have money. So we're not going to pay him to say anything. We're going to pay him to stand there and then intensely play pinball while we like have uncomfortable camera shots of him like sweating playing pinball.
That all have a fisheye lens on for some reason.
Like what the fuck is going on in this movie?
Why is there a B plot? This film could have just been about him cleaning the place,
yes,
and like fighting the robots, and I would have actually been kind of down with that. That cleaning montage of the bathroom, kind of sick. That was kind of awesome and like satisfactory. Like, oh, that'd be cool. And then he like fights them, and then it's dirty and he's got to clean it or whatever. But like that would have been a decent movie of all the robots trying to kill him and his fights with them. And then they have to introduce the fucking kids and the Vine guy and be like, now it's a slasher flick. And these guys go fuck in the room where the child murderers fucking did a satanic ritual. And you're like, what? Why are you fucking in here? And it's not even a good sex scene. It's not R. I guess they didn't get it to rated R, so she doesn't even pull out her boobies. And it's like, come on. Like, that's... You think they put the sex scenes in the 80s thrasher flicks because it was neat?
Yeah.
Like, no, they wanted to see titties. Like, that was the whole point.
They want the boobis.
Yeah, that's why you have that. You have, and you're like, oh, sick, I get this, and then I get to watch them die. But they don't.
Yeah.
It's just a really awkward sex scene in a kid's room, and then...
It sucks, man. This movie sucks.
It was bad. The reveal, also, of the animatronics coming to life... What a fucking throwaway. He's just there, and then the ostrich is just like, I'm gonna eat your soul, and then they fight, and it's like 15 minutes in, and you're like, what?
And it's not even a good fight. They like he just like doesn't. Is this the one where he has the broom? I feel like,
Yeah,
but
that's
I don't know.
he breaks the broom in half.
Yeah, and then he like they just like he does like some like ninja shit for like 5 seconds, and then he like Mortal Kombat fatalities the fucking thing's spine out. Like why? But the point in the movie that I feel like I was like, what the fuck, is when he's fighting the two robots at once with his hands tied behind his back. Well, Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes is playing. That was the point where I was like, are they trying to make this movie bad? Like, what is going on? What am I fucking watching? Because, like, I don't know. This movie is all over the place. And I feel like, in turn, like, everything I have to say is all over the place. Like, I'm just jumping from one thing to the next.
Oh, yeah.
Because nothing happens in this movie, I feel like. Nothing happens. It's like you start the movie the same way the movie ended. It's just like dude driving. Dude's driving. He's just trying to go to He's just trying to go to like see his kid. We don't even know where he's going.
Why was
we
he
don't know
driving?
where he's going. He's just driving.
I thought that he was gonna be the kid that they left behind, and then it was the girl, and that didn't do anything.
No.
Which
all
I was
those
like, eh.
all those kids like suck. The acting was god awful.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason for that like subplot. This movie would have been so much more not so much more redeemable, but this movie would have been probably more watchable, I guess, if the subplot wasn't here.
It feels like they needed to come up with some kind of backstory as to why they were doing this, and they just got caught up in it, and then they were like, oh yeah, no, this is now a whole subplot. Like, they started introducing characters, and then they were like, oh, these characters need more story, and then they just put them in. Even though it didn't matter, half the kids just died. Like, the Vine kid, didn't he die right away from the night? Isn't he the one?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just died. They get in there, and then they die, and that's the end.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, neat.
It feels like it has the production quality of a fucking Darman video. Like, it's just embarrassing. Like, yeah. I feel bad for these people because I don't know if they're just not super great at acting or if they just weren't given guidance, which I probably feel like it's the latter, because this movie is a shit show from fucking top to bottom.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have much to work with when your lead character doesn't speak for no reason, and the story is kind of played out, and I don't know, you can kind of tell where it's going even though it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, somehow you fucked up on both ends, where it's not crazy enough that you don't know what's happening next, but it's not coherent enough to understand why anything is happening. Which is it's kind of impressive. So much, like I said, the cinematography, there's a lot of Dutch angles, like where it kind of looks like your head is tilted. So many in the film, and I was like, dude, just straighten the tripod out, dude. Level your tripod. This is rough. The color grading, awful. There's like this grain over the whole thing, that looks like they're trying to, those like things of like, oh, this city, if it's an American movie, kind of have one of those. And at one point, I think it's when they're leaving the trailer after the batshit crazy fucking sheriff handcuffs the daughter. Like, that's just normal. They're coming out. All of the blacks in that scene are like, they have a blue tint because of the color grading, and they just didn't change that. Like, shadows and that guy's hair, it's like there's a hint of blue. It's like it was dyed with black hair dye, and there's like a hint of blue coming out, and you're like, fix that. Don't leave that in. It looks awful.
Yeah, I feel like what they're trying to go for is like, because they're in like a Chuck E. Cheese, right? They're in like this 80s pizza parlor, but like they execute it so poorly. Like, you can look at Stranger Things, and Stranger Things doesn't execute like the whole 80s thing perfectly, but I feel like they like, have you seen Stranger Things?
Yeah, I'm all caught up.
Because 11 dies in Stranger Things too.
Yeah,
because we all know this. 11, but like they're in like when they're in the mall in the third season, I feel like they do like the 80s kind of like atmosphere and aesthetic correctly. Like they don't really have the color gradient on, but the background is really fluorescent. I feel like you have like the neon lights and like the 80s like architecture. I feel like they just like painted a room red with like the checkered floor, and they're like, this isn't enough, let's put the saturation up.
Yeah.
It's kind of a pathetic attempt to be like, hey guys, look, this is like Chuck E. Cheese in the 80s.
And I think they committed really hard to it being like decrepit and run down, but that kind of came to bite them in the ass. And sometimes he'd clean something and I'd be like, that's not clean.
Yeah.
Like, that's just not clean. I don't know what you're talking about. You need to go over that again. Like, he wipes down the cases with the posters in them, and he cleans the glass, but the posters are gross. And I'm like, great. I can see this gross poster. And he's just like, next, move on.
Yeah. I also feel like they go with this kind of like, they try to symbolize a lot of stuff with Nick Cage because he can't say a lot of stuff. Like when he kills the robot, he like puts on another shirt because he's like cleansing himself of this robot. And then he's like the pinball and like thing that like the breaks that he has. I don't really even know. They're trying to symbolize like this Five Nights at Freddy's like next day. Like,
yeah,
I don't know, but it's not deep. It doesn't need to be deep.
No.
He's killing fucking animatronic Chuck E. Cheese robots. Like, this is like what. Nobody's here to watch this symbolism for this shitty fucking movie. They want to see Nick Cage kill a robot, probably, and they don't even do that super good. He's literally has his hands tied behind his back while, like, a Kids Bop shitty version of Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes is happening.
And
like,
the fights aren't that satisfying. Like the gorilla,
No.
it just, the suit seems soft because like it's animatronic. Like it would be like something kids go up and like hug or whatever. And like, you know, it's clearly a dude in a suit, which is like kind of fine because that's what it would be. But like it just makes none of the hits seem that meaty. Like he's beating them up, but it's like, you know, I don't know if you can really see the fabric depress a little bit or what, but it's just like that doesn't feel meaty. Like,
no.
I don't know. Figure it out. Go watch a Fast and the Furious movie.
Dude, they go to space. Nick Cage goes to space, and he fights the space robots.
Here's the question, though. Would you fuck Sarah the Siren?
No. That thing's fucking scary, bro. That's another thing. That's clearly not animatronic. It's just a lady with a mask on.
A really
like,
weird mask.
Yeah, it's like a paper mache little thing that's like on her head that you can clearly see. Like, it looks unsettling. Like the Sarah the Siren one, that's the one that is like, okay, that one's fucking creepy. The other ones I'm not like that one's creepy. Like, that one's just a stuffed animal. And
I totally forgot what the lizard was when she shows up in the arcade, and I was like, what the fuck animal is that?
Yeah, I thought it was a grandma.
I thought it was like an alien or something. I was like, oh, I guess I have like an alien. And then eventually she's like, what is it? Like, unwrap that lizard. And I was like, oh, that's a lizard. Interesting.
Ding, 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 ding. Lizard.
Yeah, I thought the Willy costume, too, was really good. They obviously spent a lot more time on that than anything else. But yeah, I thought that was worth it. Like I said, the production design, I thought most of the design of like the animatronics, like when they're standing still, they look pretty good. It's when they start moving that it kind of fucks up, and you kind of be like, all right, that's a person in a rubber suit. Like, this isn't a 50s B movie flick, you know, B sci-fi movie. This is, let me look. Do we know what the budget on this fucking thing was?
I don't know. Let me see if it's on the fucking Wikipedia.
Budget $5 million.
What the fuck?
It has grossed, according to Wikipedia, I don't know how up to date this is, but it says box office barely 500,000. That is atrocious return. That's like awful.
The Kevin Spacey, like the billion. What was that? The movie that made like $2, that made like $5.
I don't know.
Oh, this movie, was this movie even released in theaters? I thought it went right to streaming. It's like that because it gives me that kind of like, because it's shitty. Like it's one of those movies. Like, you know,
I don't know.
Like,
I mean, I don't really know what the. I can look at release. It was originally scheduled to come out in October 2020, but was
Ah.
delayed for the pandemic. Um,
Oh no, it had a theatrical
Limited
release.
theatrical release. Yeah, did they went VOD, but also um, limited theatrical release. I'm sure that's just whatever was able to open up at the time. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah. I would like to touch on one thing though before we like end this
what's that?
is Nick Cage. We mentioned this in the beginning, but Nick Cage literally doesn't say a word
Mm-mm,
the whole movie.
nothing.
And that's what like they're trying to make him cool, right? But they do it in the shittiest way possible, where they just have other people saying his lines for him while he's just looking at them. I can get it if you're like, hey man, I'm trying to make Nick Cage be this cool guy. But like and especially a story like this, you don't have those characters to be able to tell those, like to be able to say the lines. Like anytime you add these people to say the lines for you, like it just feels forced. And that's where I feel like a lot of the shittiness from these fucking kids, like that makes it turn into a slasher movie, is they were probably like, okay, we need to add a plot to this movie, but we've already made the creative choice to not have fucking Nick Cage say a word in this movie, so we need somebody to say words. So they probably felt like forced to add these kids in the movie, and it just makes the movie so much worse.
Do you
You
think?
don't need this.
Do you think it was a
Oh, sorry.
creative choice, or do you think it was just that Nick Cage was like, "I'll be in this movie, but I'm not saying anything," and they just had to like figure it out?
I think would be more of a creative choice because they obviously paid Nick Cage a fuck ton of money to be in this movie.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's.
That's probably most of the budget.
I was gonna say
is
it's got to be
getting
2 or 3 million.
Yeah, but like you think that they had to pay him enough to just get him there to have him say a word. I feel like they're trying to make Nick Cage this badass kind of character, but Nick Cage isn't a good actor. He hasn't been for like 15 years since National Treasure. We've known this. And they were like, okay, well, we can't make him seem cool because anytime he says a word, he's going to make himself look like a fucking buffoon. So, like, he can't say anything.
Yeah.
He can't say anything because, like, if he just looks with, like, an intense stare, that's the only way we're going to get that cool factor from him. So, like, I think that's where the like, choice to have him not say a word comes from. I don't think it's we don't want to pay Nick Cage, which I could also see being the case. It could be both of them, like,
Yeah.
factoring it. It could be a mix of both. But, holy shit, just have him say, like, 20 words,
Have it be a thing
30
at the end.
words.
Have it be a big
Yeah.
reveal at the end where she like gets
Yeah,
in
it's
and he
so
goes like,
unsatisfying.
"Let's roll" or something. That's all you need.
It's so unsatisfying because you're watching this movie. Because I watched this movie with my dad. Because my dad just turned it on before I could say anything, and I felt bad telling him to turn it off. But like, we were both like, "Is he gonna say anything? Is he gonna say anything?" Like, oh, what is he gonna say at the end? They're like in the car at the end, and they're like, the fucking car blows up with like the fucking bad guy in it. Like, that's the perfect time for him to say anything, and he doesn't say anything.
Nope.
It's so anticlimactic. It sucks. This movie sucks, and I can't emphasize this enough.
But here's what I do want to emphasize, that at the very bottom of the Wikipedia page, it states, in February 2021, it was stated that a sequel was already being actively discussed. So look forward to that. This film, I mean, it shot in a month. I did not read the whole thing about how long it was in development, but I hope that we can see the sequel for this, and maybe if both of us are still alive, we'll come back and do the sequel, because that would actually be hilarious.
Yes.
But we'll see. We'll see how they're gonna get the funding, considering apparently they only made 500,000 at the box office. I don't know what they got from the SVOD or whatever. It's not like Hulu's actively promoting it, so it's probably not doing
No.
that well.
It was on the front page of Hulu. That's how my dad found it, because that's how my
Oh.
dad chooses movies.
It's
He's
not
like-
anymore.
Yeah, it was like, because I watched it like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it was just like a Nick Cage summer. It's white boy summer, but
White-
Nick Cage summer.
Nick Cage summer. Um, all right.
Nick
Well,
Cage is a staple of white boy summer.
let's
Oh
rate
God.
this. I am gonna give this a 1 out of 10. I don't think that I think the production design was very good, but I just don't think any of the rest of it is worth another point. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a solid 1 out of 10.
I'm gonna match you on that. I'm thinking about a 0, but the production design is good. Like, right? It's good.
Yeah.
And I don't want it. There's some like aspects of the movie, like this movie could be fun to like watch with friends. Maybe.
If you just want to be spouting questions the whole time, you can
Yeah,
watch it with
yeah,
friends. It's not as much of
yeah.
like, oh, that's funny. It's more of why did that just happen?
What the fuck is this?
That's
Yeah.
the experience you'll get watching with friends.
Yeah. I don't know. Like maybe with like a brew or two, like, and you're like, what is happening? Like that could be
If you
somewhat
want to,
of not a waste of your time, but
if you
it's
want to
still
come
a
up
waste
with
of your time.
like some headcanon, like if you want to start
Yeah.
making up shit to answer these questions you have, then you can have some fun.
Yeah, but it's not good enough to like warrant that. Like if you want to watch a bad movie with your friends, like watch The Room or watch Birdemic or some shit. Like you have options that are way 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 better than this.
Yeah.
But
Right.
you know,
Well,
it's
I
pathetic.
think that we should put this in the list. As I'm sure you can see, we have a tier called "Fuck You, Seth Rogen," and I've actually learned I think Seth Rogen's actually like a decent guy, like in real life.
Yeah,
So I feel a little bit bad about that, but
we can change it to "Fuck You, James Franco" because he is not.
because yeah,
He
he's
is
not.
not
Maybe
he is a bad man.
maybe we will do that. Change it to "Fuck You, James Franco." But I think this is gonna comfortably sit in the D tier with Zodiac.
Can I propose that this is one tier below "Fuck You, Seth Rogen" and it's just in the what the fuck tier?
I think it's just Zodiac because this is kind of the same way we talked about Zodiac. I think the Seth Rogen
Yeah.
tier was there, but like the difference I see in the first, I was like, maybe we should put it in the "Fuck You, Seth Rogen" tier, just because it's that bad. But then I thought, no, like that was more competent. Like the cinematography was whatever in Pineapple Express. It was
Giving it its own tier is probably like what they want you to do.
yeah,
But and we don't want to give them that. I don't want to give them that satisfaction, you know? Like
Yeah.
just yeah, I'm down with putting it in D tier. Like
Right.
putting it in the lowest of the low. Like
We'll
I'm
put it
sure
down
this
there.
will probably be the worst movie that's ever talked about, unless they make a sequel for this
Who
movie.
knows?
I think this will probably be the worst movie that is talked about on this podcast.
I sure hope
That's
so.
my prediction. Yeah. Hey, next time, if I'm back, I'll pick a better movie.
Okay,
I
you
don't-
better. I've been
'Cause
watching a
I've
movie a
subjected
day
you
now.
to this.
Yeah, I've been watching a movie every day now because I don't do anything with my time. So I've been doing that, and I've been watching good shit now. So that didn't help. Like I watched
Yeah,
like
I'm
There Will Be
sorry.
Blood and Scarface and all this shit.
I'm sorry. I felt bad after picking it because I wanted to watch live action Cat in the Hat because that movie's just funny. Like I love that movie. Like it's really bad, but like it at least is like funny, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's just like the Cat in the Hat looks so funny, and then Alec Baldwin is in it, and he's fat, and that's funny. But like, I don't know. I was like, fuck it, we'll do this because I didn't know,
All right.
and I feel bad.
Well, it's only recorded and gonna live on the internet forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, well that concludes this episode of the One for the Other podcast. Typically in our other sessions, I would kind of say what we're watching or listening to next, and we kind of go off and kind of get that initial reaction. I do have another special guest that's going to be on next week, my good buddy Derek, who did make a previous entrance on this podcast during the
love
Pineapple
Derek.
Express episode. If you'll remember, he barged in, and it was super scripted, but we did it. And actually, we have already settled. We have to double check that it's available. So maybe it won't be. But right now, the plan is to watch Velocipaster and
Oh
listen to
God.
Blood on the Tracks by Bob Dylan. So look forward to that. If it doesn't happen to be that, it's not my fault because Velocipaster probably was not available on a streaming service. So
God,
that's
that
gonna
movie
be
is so.
that's
But
gonna
at
be
least
it.
it's redeeming.
Yeah, I've heard. I think I've seen the IHE video on that, but I don't truly remember. Um, yeah, so thank you for listening to this episode. If you listened to this episode, if anyone listens to this, really appreciate that. As always, like and subscribe. Leave a comment what you want to, hear next, or see next, and hopefully I can find someone that wants to, do either of those. You can always send us an email, onefortheother.podcast@gmail.com. Send us suggestions that way. Send us dick pics to
Oh,
go into the gallery on our website, on the Squarespace site, chartreuse-bellflower-dwfy.squarespace.com. That was a free URL we got. Not the free
wait,
with the
can you put
cheapest.
this photo on the website? This might be a secret.
Um, I'll definitely need a photo from you for the. I'm not putting that on the website. I'll put that in your bio. We'll get that all set up for you. But yeah, check out the website. Check out the YouTube and watch that. I don't know if we'll ever be on Spotify. That was a passion project that has long since left the passion. Ryland, is there anywhere that you'd want people to go for you? Do you want people to check out your Twitch or?
No, I haven't streamed in like a year now. So
Cool.
you can go to my Twitch. My Twitch is twitch.tv/Crash Bandicoot is sad. Maybe I'll start streaming again. If I do, it's going to be horrendously bad video games. So if you like really, really bad video games and people being subjected to that, then maybe I'll stream it and you can watch the VOD. But probably not because I'm lazy.
Stream the Willy's Wonderland video game. That's not FNAF.
Oh
It's
God.
just its own
No.
spin-off.
But I'm starting like an actually serious like blog for video game stuff where I actually talk about good stuff in good video games because that's my like area of expertise, I guess, is video games. Like I'm in school studying to become a games journalist. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. So I have a little column hopefully coming it's hopefully out by the time that this episode is out about E3 and how bad it was this year. If it is out, you can find it on my Twitter. I'll definitely link to it. My Twitter is @RylandSkulls. So if you find that. But yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for having me. I had a blast.
Of course. It was good time. Good to be back recording. And it'll be great to edit this. Yeah, I think that'll be it. So thank you for listening. And see ya, pimps.
So long, Gay Bowser. Let's go. I just Googled Wikipedia because I'm a dumbass.
Wait, the tagline was 2020 isn't over yet, kids? That's the worst tagline ever. This movie came out in like...
It came out in 2021.
It came out 2 months after 2020. Why?
Oh my God.
There's no overt references to 2020.
No, there were no references. It's just a bad movie in a bad year, so they're like, let's capitalize, baby.
The reference is having Christian Del Grosso in it.
Oh my, that movie bit is. I'm sorry, Josh. I feel bad. I feel bad, but also like it's an experience.
Oh shit. God, I miss my fucking old laptop. I hate the 2020 MacBook. Fucking
Dude, yeah.
Thunderbolt sucks ass.
Yeah, dude. I have I have like the same thing in it. I just want to play fucking video games on here. Not even like good video games. Just like I want to play something that's more than Minecraft.
Yeah.
My computer says no, fuck you, and becomes hotter than the surface of the sun.
Dude, my computer would die when I was playing Minecraft on my old laptop. It was rough. I would have to
Yeah,
stop playing just because my lap got too warm. The film
pain.
received mixed reviews from critics. That's a nice way to put it.
Pain.